to tell the tale. There's a lot more going on, I think, because when you start thinking about what's wrong with a modern university, many, many more things suggest themselves. And I think there's an opportunity here to build something that's radically new in some ways and radically traditional in other ways. For example, I have a strong preference for the tutorial system that you see at Oxford and Cambridge, which is small group teaching and highly Socratic in its structure. I think it'd be great to bring that to the United States, where it doesn't really exist. But at the same time, I think we should be doing some very 21st century things, making sure that while people are reading and studying classic works, they're also going to be immersed in the real world of technological innovation, a world that you know very well. And I'd love to get a synthesis of the ancient and classical, which we're gradually letting fade away, with the novel and technological. So we want to produce people who can simultaneously talk intelligently about Adam Smith, or for that matter, Shakespeare or Proust, and have a conversation with you about where AI is going and how long it will be before I can get driven here by a self-driving vehicle, allowing me to have my lunch and prepare rather than focus on the other crazy people on the road. So that's the dream, that we can create something which is, partly classical and partly 21st century. And we look around and we don't see it. If you don't see an institution that you really think should exist, I think you have a moral responsibility to create it.
So you're thinking including something bigger than just liberal education, also including science, engineering, and technology. And I should also comment that, I mostly stay out of politics and out of some of these aspects of liberal education that kind of been the most controversial and difficult within the university. But there is a kind of ripple effect of fear within that space into science and engineering and technology that I think has a nature that's difficult to describe. It doesn't have a controversial nature. It just has a nature of fear, where you're not, you mentioned saying stupid stuff as a young 20-year-old. For example, deep learning, machine learning is really popular in the computer science now as an approach for creating artificial intelligence systems. It is controversial in that space to say that anything against machine learning, saying, sort of exploring ideas that saying this is going to lead to a dead end. Now that takes some guts to do as a young 20-year-old within a classroom, to think like that, to raise that question in a machine learning course. It sounds ridiculous because it's like, who's going to complain about this? But the fear that starts in a course on history or on some course that covers society, the fear ripples and affects those students that are asking big out-of-the-box questions about engineering, about computer science. And there's a lot, there's like linear algebra that's not going to change. But then there's like applied linear algebra, which is machine learning. And that's when robots and real systems touch human beings. And that's when you have to ask yourself these difficult questions about humanity, even in the engineering and science and technology courses.
And these are not separate worlds in two senses. I've just taken delivery of my copy of the book that Eric Schmidt and Henry Kissinger have co-authored on artificial intelligence, the central question of which is, what does this mean for us broadly? But they're not separate worlds, in C.P. Snow